Hi guys, welcome to Core Java tutorial. This is the third video we're making for it. So today we are going to cover control statement, which is the most important topic in Core Java. So the agenda for this video tutorial will be control statements. So there are different types of control statements we have. As we are seeing, if-else statement, switch statement, loops. So under the loops we have three different types of loops, and break and continue statements, followed by Java comments we're going to cover today. So first we can start with if-else statement. So what is if-else statement? Suppose if you want to execute some block of code in between, depends on some condition. Suppose if you're executing some block of code, if you want to restrict some code, depends on some condition. All these scenarios you can able to use if-else statement. So there are different types of if-else statements are available. One is if statement, simply if statement. So we have the syntax below for that. So these are the if keyword we have to use and the condition we have to put over there. Then we have if-else statement and if-else if later nested if statement. So these are all the different data types of having. All the purpose of using if statement is to be, if you want to restrict something, depends on some condition, some block of code you want to execute. So you'll be using if statement. We can see it practically now, how it will be. So for that, I'll be going to Eclipse. So for now, I'll be creating a new project for us. With that, we'll be covering all the programs in the same project. And I'm putting the name as Core Java tutorial. It's fine. So the name I will be giving as if-else statement for the class. In SRC folder, I will be going and creating a new class name called as if-else statements. The package we can give something com.codejava.control statements. That's it. Our class got generated, and here I'll be writing a main method. So the shortcut will be simply typing a main and control space, then the method description will follow. You can get auto-populated the suggestions. You just need to click on enter. That's it. You don't need to write all the main method manually. That's the benefit of using IDE, and that saves a lot of time for us. And now I'll be taking few variables to implement these if-else statements. I'll be taking some integer values. Suppose int x equal to 10, int y equal to 20, int z equal to 30. So I have taken three variables. Now I can use if-else statement to compare these values, which is smaller. So I need to identify a smaller element out of it. So these inputs, maybe you can get it as some random bigger number instead of 10, 20, 30. I just wrote it because of readability. And if you thought these are some bigger numbers, so if you want to compare these numbers, and you need to identify the smallest element out of it. So this is the way we can write it. If of x is less than y, then this out. So currently we are comparing only x and y. X is smaller. So if you execute this statement, so for now x is less than y. So this condition actually true. So this is the way we can write it as per the syntax. Even if you see if keyword and condition and code to be executed. The same way I have written if keyword and the condition. Any condition you can write it should return true or false. That's what the if statement is expected. That's the syntax it is expecting. So this output you'll be writing. So I'll execute this program now. So the output will be x is smaller. I'll rerun this. So x is smaller. So which is true. If I increase x value to 100, then what will be the output here? There's no output we got. The reason is we just wrote only if condition. Post that we didn't wrote anything. So if we want to do something, if x is smaller and so x is not smaller, we need to print. For that case, or y is smaller, we have to print. For that case, you need to write else statement. Sys out, control space. So what we can write? Y is smaller. Correct? I'll execute this program, then it will return y is smaller because x is less than y is false, so it is coming to else part and it is executing y is smaller. So this is about if else statement. Now we can see the other one, if else if later statement. The way to do this is, suppose I'll make this y also 100. So what will be this case? So x is 100, y is 100. So what will be the expected output? If I run our current program, it will behave crazily. We'll see it how it is. So it is still telling y is smaller, but if you see the actual values, x is 100 and y is 100. Both are same actually, there is no difference at all. But our program is failing to show the correct output. The reason is we just mentioned else case to print the y is smaller, whatever the comparison it is, and we're just checking x is smaller than y or not. Then else part we're just printing y is smaller by default. That's a wrong code. So to avoid that, we have the feature called if else if later. The way to do this is we need to add one more keyword, if, then the condition follows y is smaller than x, then only you have to print y is smaller, otherwise you don't need to print anything. So here we're checking x is less than y, then x is smaller, else if y is less than x, then only y is smaller. I'm just running this code. So the expected will be nothing, zero output. There is no output we got because both conditions are failed. So both are same actually. To print that x and y are same, we can write one more condition called else. Here we can write x and y are equal. We'll see the output now. So now it print exactly. So this works for all the variables. Suppose x is less than y, then it will print x is smaller, or it will check y is less than x, then it will print y is smaller, or it will print x and y are equal. If this case x and y are equal. If I remove one zero here, so then it should print x is smaller. So this will work perfectly. There's no problem at all with this code. So x is smaller. This works perfect. And nested if statement. What is nested if statement? If you write any another new if condition inside any if or if else block or else if block anywhere, either here or here or here, anywhere, if you write one more if condition or or in three places also you can put three if conditions. That is called nested if. Suppose I can put here I can put one more condition called if x is less than y. So for that reason I created a new variable called z. So if I am creating one more if condition saying x is less than z, then only print x is smaller. So I'll be removing this statement, and here I'm adding x is less than y. Then it will come to here, then it will check one more condition. This is the nested if, and x is less than z, then only x is smaller, this printing. The same way we can do it here also. So as we already wrote y is smaller here, we can remove this statement in this line as well. And this is how we can print it. There is other way we can optimize this code, and we cannot write this kind of code. To explain you like how to use the nested if, I just wrote this. The right way to do this is we don't need to use this one more if condition here. I just removing those. Just need this. If you want to check y also with z, then there is a way to do that. So we just need to write and y is less than z. So this actually does the same how we have written the previous code. So this one also we can remove it here, and we can add it as and condition. This and condition in it, so you can check multiple conditions with and or conditions. For or you can use it as this symbol. You can able to either one of the condition is got true, then it will print y is smaller. So in this case it will print both the conditions are true, then only it will print y is smaller. So these about if else statements. So coming to next control statement we have, that is about switch statement. These are also very frequently used in IT, and this is actually comes like if you have only one data type of variable, if you want to check with different values, so that case it will actually helpful. We can see the syntax now. So Java switch statement execute one statement for multiple conditions. It's like if else if later. So instead of writing so many if else if later statement, we can go with switch statement. And this switch statement will allow data types called int, long, enum types. I'll explain you what is enum in later tutorials, along with the wrapper types. Sorry. So not only these types, since Java 7 it is actually allowing which is allowing strings also, string data types. That really helps a lot, guys, and because of the strings, allowing switch statement will really helps a lot of in programming if you are working in real-time IT. So these syntax of switch statement, it is actually taking switch is a keyword, and here it is not a condition, it is a simply expression. It's like one data type it will take. Suppose index if you define, and x it will take, and the cases will check have the actual values 10, 20, 30 something you can have it, and it will actually check the values if the value is matching with the expression with the variable, and then it will actually execute the block of code wherever it matches. And the break statement is used to exit out of the switch condition. So this is a very important thing, and if you don't use this break statement, then it will execute all the statements by default. So the default keyword we have defined, suppose if all the conditions are failed, then it will execute the default condition. You can check it practically in the Eclipse now. So I'll be creating new class switch statement. I'll be writing a main method. Here I'll be writing int x equal to 10. So I'll be declaring a method void print result of int x. I can make it as static, so I can easily directly call it, and I'll be calling this method over here. X, I'll be passing the data type. So I'll explain you what is the method and how to write a method and everything in next tutorial. For now, you just have it as a method and then just calling it. So your concentration will be what is the content inside method, which is switch statement. I'll be writing switch statement, which is about it is taking x as input, as I mentioned. So if you see the syntax, it is taking expression, which is I'm giving. So the syntax will be case value break, the defaulting. Case 10 1 I'm giving. I'll be writing this out. X is 1. So I'll be writing break. Case 2 I'm writing X is 2. So I'm writing a break statement. So I'm writing, likewise I can write so many numbers and so many cases. So I'll be writing case 10. X is 10. Case 20. X is 20. And finally I'll be writing default statement. I'll explain you why I'm writing these many statements. X is invalid. Correct? If you want, you can keep the break over here, or if you don't want, you don't need to keep the break over here because this is the last statement. You don't need to break. It's the break over here. So this is our switch statement. This is how the syntax looks like. So these are the your switch cases syntax is looking like. Just formatting it properly to readability. And now we can execute the program. So the expected will be 10 we are passing, and if it is coming to passing this value to this method, and here in this method we have a switch statement. It will actually check each and every case with that value with the 10. Wherever it matches that value, it will print. Means x is 10, it will print, and it will exit. We'll say that. So it is showing as x is 10. Suppose if I change it to 20, what it should print? Obviously 20. X is 20. So if I change it to 200, so 200 is there in any case, no action. We'll see what will happen. It will print the default value, which is x is invalid. Okay, if the value is not exist, then it will come to default. It is actually printing invalid. Suppose for the valid case, if I take 1, this is a valid case. Usually, if you just run this program, it will print x is 1. As simple as that, right? Suppose I'm just removing all the break statements. Control D is the shortcut, D for delete. Control D is the shortcut to delete the lines. So if I'm just removing all the break statements in switch case, what will happen, we'll see. So I'm just passing one value to this print statement, and switch is taking 1, and we'll see the output, how crazily it displays. So it is printing all the values. Suppose if you see right, all the values it is printed. X is 1, X is 2, X is 10, X is 20, X is invalid. Everything it got printed. The reason is, it is actually, there is no break you have added. That is the reason all the cases it will execute, even if it is a success or failure, it will come through all the cases. If you put the break, then it actually checks exact code and it will come out of the switch statement. This is the important thing you have to remember. You just need to put the break. That's the reason I explained. Usually people might forget, and I even seen a lot of junior developers might forget these break statements when they are hurried to code, and this actually causes a lot of serious impact actually in application wise. So this is the where if you execute the program now after adding break statement, it works as expected, which is x is 1. So this is about the switch statement. Now we can go to the next control statement, which is, I think the next will be the loops in the Java. So loops are like, suppose if you want to execute this block of code for several times, or you can say, suppose if you need to print 100 values, suppose 1 to 100, if you want to print it, so what is the way? You just need to write system.out println for 100 times, then only 100 statements were printed. There is a other way to avoid that. We can directly use loops for that. It will actually saves a lot of time, not only for printing the numbers, it actually helps a lot of things. So like, suppose if you have list of objects, if you want to iterate them, or you can say there is a student's records are stored in DB. If you're getting those records with using some JDBC logic, then if you want to loop those results, then you just need to use the loop actually. If you want to print all the names in the database, so you just need to use the loops and all. So these are all you get to know when you are started database programming. All these things get to know, and that time you will be extensively using the loops over there. So now we can have the basic syntax and details over there. So as I mentioned, there are 3 types of loops available: while loop, do while loop, and for loop. First we can see what is while loop. So all 3 types of loops does the same purpose. It actually executes set of instructions repeatedly. Nothing much it will do. It will actually repeat the set of instructions every time. You don't need to duplicate the lines of code, and you don't need to do all the extra code and all. We'll see first while loop how it looks. So while loop, the syntax will be, it is having while keyboard and the condition. The condition is same as like how we are giving condition for if statement. The same as it is the condition we have to pass to while loop, and the open and parenthesis, open and close parenthesis in between number of lines of code you have to print. So for that I'll be going and I'll be creating a file for you. I'll be creating a new class. called while loop. So the package I will change a little bit. Instead of control statements, it is not controlling, it is actually looping. So I'll loop it. Loops. So we just see the structure over here, how the file structure will varies now as I changed the package name a little bit. Anyhow, I'm going to cover package topics at a later point of tutorials. So it comes to oops package, and it is if else statements and switch statements are there in control statements. We can close this for now and we can expand while loop Java. And as usual, you can write main program, main control space, enter, control S, then while condition. So our intention is to suppose if we need to print 100 values or 10 values. So what is the way? This out one. What is the way to print 10 values? 2, 3, 4. Likewise, if you write, the numbers will print. Am I right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, if you need to write 10 times, then 10 numbers will be printed. To avoid that, I don't want to print these many sysout statement. I just need to keep one sysout statement. How to reuse that? I'll tell you. I'm just declaring a variable called int I equal to 1, and I'm writing while statement. While I is less than or equal to 10, so till 10 items I need to loop this. I just need to print, just cutting it, pasting it here. I am just writing one single sysout statement which actually prints, instead of 1 I will be giving this variable as I. So what do you think? Suppose I is less than 10, this will be sufficient, more than enough? No, actually. We need to write one important line of statement over here. So what will happen? One will come over here, it will getting true, and one will be printed. Again it will go there, again one is true, again it will be printed, it will go to continuously, the loop will continuously go. You need to restrict it until unless it is 10 only, you have to loop the elements and you have to print the elements. Meanwhile, you need to increment the value. Incrementing value means you need to, this is where you can able to increment it. I equal to I plus 1. What it is doing, it is incrementing value by 1 and assigning to I. So first time it will comes to 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10, true. It will print 1. Then it will come here. 1 plus 1 equal to 2. 2 will be assigned to I. And here it will come again. 2 is less than or equal to 10, true. Then it will print 2. Then here 2 plus 1. The current value will be 2 of I. So 2 plus 1 equal to 3. 3 will be assigned to I. Then again it will come here. 3 is less than or equal to 10, true. 3 will be printed. Likewise, it will go through 10 elements. We'll see the output right now. So this is the output. It's printed 1 to 10 elements properly. This is what we expected with the single sysout statement. This is the benefit of using while loop. And we can go to next loop, which is called do while. Do while loop, the syntax wise and functionality wise a little bit different, but it does the same purpose. So it is also doing same, and the syntax wise if we see compared to do while it is while will be having while keyword and condition. Here if you see do is a keyword we have additionally, and while comes to bottom, and the set of lines of code in between parentheses it is come everywhere. So we can implement that now. We can see the difference. What is the difference between while and do while? How it is. Do while loop. So I'll be writing a main method over here to test that. So I'll be doing the same thing. I'll just clear this console for this code. I'm doing the same thing, printing 10 values. We'll see the difference. Int I equal to 1. So do while here semicolon. You have to put semicolon, otherwise it will throw compilation error. Till wait, delete this token, something it is showing expression is missing the complete or something. You just need to keep semicolon as per the syntax you have. And inside that you need to write condition. What is the condition? The same condition. I is less than or equal to 10. I is less than or equal to 10. So instead of writing 10 over here, can't I create a new variable for the limit over here? In 10 equal to 10 I'll declare here. I can rename this as 10. This will look more generic for me. So this is where I'll do that. The next step will be printing our statement, which is I have to print numbers 1 to 10 and the increment. And increment what we're doing, I equal to I plus 1. I plus 1, which is actually does the same output, which is what expected, right? So it does the same. There's no difference at all here with the while and do while. So as a small increment over here, small change over here as enhancement, instead of doing incremental operator, incrementing a value here, I'll use increment operator. Instead of this, I'll just commenting this. This is a comment, single line comment in Java, and I'll be using incremental operator instead of this line actually. Instead of this line, I'm just using I plus plus, which is same as the above line. I'll be running the code. Let's see the output. This actually results same. There is no difference at all. So now I can remove this statement. This is no longer required. I'll rerun this for you. Its results say 1 to 10 it got printed. So what is the difference between while loop and do while loop? Both are resulting same. So the difference will be, suppose if I make this n as 0 instead of 10, I'll make it as 0. So what will be the output? First we can run it in while loop, the same value. Instead of 10, I'll make it as 0 here also. So what will be the output here? Empty. The reason is here the condition is failing, so nothing will be executed. I is less than or equal to 0, which is 1 is less than or equal to 0, that is false, and because of that the loop is not continuing executing and it is printing nothing. And the same thing in do while, I'm just doing I equal to 1, limit is 0. So here 1 is less than or equal to 0, that is false again. So here we'll see the expected output. It actually prints 1. The reason is do while will not check the condition at first time. At first time of iteration, it won't check the condition. It will simply do this job, then actually it will check the condition. For the second time, if it goes, then it actually check the condition, then only it will execute. So the first time it won't check any condition. That is the reason it is called as do while. First do operation, then you can check the condition. While it's not the case, first you have to check the condition, then only you have to proceed. That's the difference between while and do while. And now we can see the next concept, which is the for loop. For loop is the most used loops in programming in real time. Because of the syntax, it is very much comfortable and most of the places it is used actually. So these the for loop basic syntax. So the for keyword, and there are three parts are included in for loop, and the three are mandatory. One is initialization, condition, decrement, and decrement operator. We'll see once you have started coding, right? You can see the difference, how this is actually better than, and the set of statements are same. It is actually does the same purpose. So for now, I'll be doing same code actually, printing numbers 1 to 10. I'll be creating for loop class. Instead of every time I'm creating main method, I just click on here, then it will actually create a main method for me. I just need to write my code here. So this is the benefit of Eclipse. Thanks to Eclipse. So I'll be writing a for loop. The syntax will be initialization, condition, increment or decrement. Increment or decrement, just now we have seen increment operator. Here we just used increment. If you want to decrease the value, right, you just need to write I minus minus, which is equals to I equal to I minus 1. So this is the decrement operator, you can say. Increment will be, this is comment, it won't, this line won't be considered for compilation and all. That is the reason I'm just putting comment. I equal to I plus 1. So they both are equal actually. This is the incremental operator instead of this line. This is the decremental operator for this line. The for loop expecting either of one, not both, either of one it is expecting. The way to do this is, so in do while loop and all, we are declared variables and we are actually assigning that value and we're incrementing and so many things we are doing, right? See the for loop, how good it is. For, I'm not declaring any variables outside. Now equal to 0, I less than 10 or less than or equal to 10 as our previous code. I plus plus and sys out of I. That's it. See how simple it is. It just have declaration and condition and increment or decrement operator here. I just run this program. We'll see the output now. So it is giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why it is giving 0? The reason I mentioned I got 0 here. Put 1, then it will start from 1. Nothing big deal. So this is about printing 1 to 10 values with simple for loop. In these are standard for loop, and there is a other for loop which we have, which is for each loop, which is what I mentioned here. There is enhanced for loop. That syntax actually looks like, suppose if you need to read an array of elements, maybe integer type, then you just need to give int x. So the array type also should be integer. Int array, if you want to read, array value will get it, and this out if you give, x if you give, this will be the syntax for each loop. So this is actually used extensively in all the programming skills, and we just need to give int x colon array name or any collection name. If list or once we discussed in collection, then we get to know all these things and what is collection and all. Or we can give collection over there, or any array we can give it, and it will actually go through the array and it will actually print the elements actually. So array will be the data type which looks like this. I can mention it here itself, as it nearby you can able to see int array. If you want to declare int array, then it looks like this. I'm just predefining values, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some random numbers I'll be giving. So integer array gave, and it will be, so all the errors are gone. We just need to print separator for both the outputs. That's a for loop, it will print 1 to 10, and these are for each loop, it will actually print the array of elements. We'll see the difference now. So these are standard output, and these are the elements which are from array. So how simple it is. I just printed the array of elements 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 6, 34, 23, and all these elements I just printed using for each loop. The for each loop syntax will look like this. So these are standard way for declaring for loops. And these about for loop. We can have break statement. Break statement, as we already aware, like we have used in control statement, where switch statement we have used it. What is the purpose of break statement? If you mention break statement, if the condition matches, if the statement got executed, then it will come out of the switch condition, completely out of the condition it will come. So the same way in loops, suppose if you are writing this, if you are running this while loop, if you want to exit when I value is become 5, if you want to check I equal to 5, then you don't want to execute the loop, you just need to come out of the loop. Inside the loop I'm writing this condition, and if you don't want to execute the loop, if the I equal to 10, then you just need to write break. That's it. So it won't print 10 values, it will actually print till 5. I need to change this value to 10. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 it prints. So because of this actually. So if you want to restrict anything, suppose if you want to exit anyway, the place where you're putting if condition also matters. That is the reason it doesn't print 5 earlier, and now it is printed 5. So if you want to exit once I equal to 5, then you just need to put break statement like this. And suppose if you don't want to print till 5, if you want to print after 5 only, there is a way to do that using this break statement we have used in switch and for loop. For now, just tested it, and there is a statement, continue statement. The continue statement also looks like continue keyword. The problem I shown, right? Suppose if you need to print only numbers after 5, not before 5, you want to print. This is actually printing 1 to 5 actually. If I need to print after 5, then what we have to do is before all the statements, you just need to type I is less than or equal to 5. Just need to type continue. So what it will do is it will actually check every time when unless it is a 5, continue whenever this statement got executed. This won't execute below lines actually. These 2 lines won't be executed. It will continue means it will go to while loop again and it will check the condition. It will go through while loop again, it will check the condition. I think increment operator we have to keep it in first actually to make this increment happen. So what will happen is the system.out.println, it won't print, it will come here, increment this value, it will check here, and it will continue. It will continue till 5. Once 5 is reached, then actually this condition got failed, then the result will execute. We'll see the output now. till 5 it doesn't print now, prints only 6 to 10. The reason is the increment operator. I just need to give 10, then it will actually print till 10, 6 to 10. So we are actually by using continuous statement, we are skipping few elements. This is how we can use it in different scenarios. You can able to use continue and break statement. Just need to remember those functionalities are available in Java, and whenever the situation comes, you have to use it. And these about control statements and for loops, and we also covered break and continue statements. The next we are going to cover about comments, Java comments. So what is the comments and what is the necessary of using comments? If you see in a previous code, and we have used comments over here, some comments we have used. What is the comment mean? What are the comment code you have written? I have already told that this commented code will not executed by compiler, so this will not consider for running as part of compilation. The compiler will ignore the lines whatever you commented. So there are different types of comments available. One is single line comment, multi-line comment, and Java comment. One is single line comment, multi-line comment, and a documentation comment, which is Java document. I'll tell you how. First, I'll explain single line comment. Suppose if you want to mention something in this variable, initialization, the initialization. So this is called single line comment. And if you want to mention something, more details about this line, and this is a while loop. Suppose you have a lot of lines to discuss, then the way to do this is multiple line comments. These are the multiple line comments. You can use it, and this is a single line comment, or we can put it as in it. So this is a single line comment, and this is multiple line comment, and the other comment type is Java documentation comment. What the Java documentation comment? And that is called, if you want to generate a Java docs like that. Suppose if you have seen like system class API, if you see this is the Java doc they have provided. So therefore the system class, they have provided some string, actually some description they have provided, and for each field they have provided some description. The way to do this is, suppose if you want to create for our class to Java doc generation, so it is actually very much simple, as much as writing comments slash star star, that's it. ID it will actually generate. The way to do this is, if you want to, if there is no ID, if you're using, then the way to do is, these are the Java comments. So whenever, even if you don't put star also, nothing matters. This is a Java comment. Suppose if you want to mention these for main method level Java comments, and this main method, just need to mention it, and here ID actually generate automatically the user population. Then you can put the class description. This is a while loop, it print while loop class, it prints numbers from 1 to 10. So this is the class description I have, and all the details I gave. So which looks, if you once you generate the Java doc, right, then it actually comes like that. Object class is the parent for our class as well, and it will come as system. Instead of java.lang system, it will come as com.core.loop start while loop. Then our description, instead of this description, our description will come, whatever we wrote, all the details and this description. And for method level, it will come as this is the main method, like how the predefined methods over here. Suppose for the set-in method they got some description, right? The same way for our main method we got some description in Javadoc. So that is about comments, single line comment, multi-line comment, and Javadoc comments. That's about today's tutorial. Thank you.